I'm Michelle Shanks with Summit Credit Union, one of your employee benefits. So hopefully I'll get to see people in the near future, hopefully. But just know that you can reach out to us at any time for any of your financial wellness needs. I'm going to jump right in and be cognizant of your time. And if you have questions, this is very informal. We will have a chance for you to ask questions closer to the end so that we can all be heard at that particular time. Please stay on mute, or you can utilize the chat function and Kelsey can see any questions that you may have so that we can answer those closer to the end of the presentation as well. So you can always chat with each other. Like I said, if you have questions, hopefully I'll cover that, but if not, catch me at the end. Okay, we want to make sure that we are taking care of you. I'm going to start in with money management. One of my favorite questions concerning money. Do you manage it or does it manage you? There is a difference. These are just a couple of questions to ask yourself, sort of a self-evaluation. You don't have to answer these out loud. I'm not going to do that to you, but just some things to ponder on, especially as we go along regarding your money habits, how you spend, how you save. If you do it all, what could you change? If you need to change anything, what could you make better? So those are a few questions that you can ask yourself. And you know, if you have some great answers and already have some good tips that you can share, feel free to do that as well. I love information, love information. So please be willing to share. And if, like I said, if there's something we don't cover and you have questions, let us know. Some of the things that we will talk about, the psychology of spending, what we think, how we think, competition, therapy, guilt, and love. And we'll talk about spending habits, what choices we make, whether or not we have impulses, and whether or not we're spending with a purpose. I'm going to jump right in with the psychology. Hopefully, I'm going to just scroll through. I love these pictures. And if you want to, in the chat function, you can use your emojis. How many of you have heard the term, money doesn't grow on trees? I'm old school. I've heard that one. Yes. Here's the other thing. I would love it if someone would gift me. Isn't that a gorgeous money cake? I would love it if someone would just say, oh, here you are. Take care of all of your financial needs. Here you go. I can get one every month. That would be fine with me. But that's really not the reality. If we technically want to go about with the money doesn't grow on trees, yes, we know money's made of paper, you know, that kind of thing. We're not going to go there. But it's not as if we can just grow a tree in our backyard. That would be great, but that's not how that works. Nor do we usually, I mean, some people don't usually get gifted with, you know, this wonderful presentation of, ta-da, here's some money just for you, and that's your gift. That would be nice. I would love to have both of those. Actually, the second picture is one that I made for my daughter's birthday, her 16th birthday. So she actually did get a money cake, but that's not our usual. So we have to figure out ways to make sure that we take care of our financial wealth as individuals and for our families without the money trees, without the gifts of money cakes. We have to figure out how to make that work for us in our financial life. How we think about money, some people think of it as a competition. Another phrase, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Have you heard that one? Sometimes whether or not we try to actually physically think about it or subconsciously think about it, sometimes we can compete with an imaginative, person, or, ideal of success, but your self-worth is not defined or should not be defined by someone's perception of what could be considered a wealthy person. I have learned over the years that people can mask some things. They can make it look like all is well, everything's fine, but they may secretly be struggling. So I never try to imagine being in someone else's shoes. I don't know their story. I don't know what happened for them to get to the place where they are. And I may not want to. I may not want to deal with, what they had to go through to get to what I think they may have. They could put on a great front. I always tell people, especially when it comes to lotteries, we hear a lot of folks, especially over the years, that have won great sums of money. After a couple of years, sometimes they don't still have it. They may go bankrupt. So you just trying to compete with what you think you see may not be the healthiest thing for you. Also, it can be an emotional ride, trying to keep up with what you think is someone else's view or ideal of success. And especially when it comes to shopping, research has shown that your level of what you may be doing, whether it's online or in a store, the longer you stay in that environment, the chemicals in your brain start to kind of regulate this euphoric happiness. Oh, if I get this, or if I buy that, or, oh, that's on sale, even if you don't need it. I mean, I have a sister that will go into a store and she only wants to get really one blouse or top, but she'll buy 8 of them in all different colors because she just has to have it. She will probably never wear it. There are things in her closet that has tags on it after years of being in her closet. So think about that emotional ride, because after every euphoric high, there's going to be a down period. So it's going to be that roller coaster ride. So be mindful of when you feel that way. Shopping may be a wonderful escape, but if you're trying to make sure that you're managing your finances, that may do you more harm than good, because, technically that's going to be an investment sitting in your closet that's not going to benefit you. Also, guilt. Like I said, that euphoric high, once you come down from that wonderful feeling, happiness is short-lived. Joy is the eternal. It could lead to stress. It could lead to depression. So be willing to open up to other things that could help you engage in getting that happiness that you're looking for. It could be meditation. It could be a nice walk outside, or seek professional help. Things that may not cost you anything, so that you can manage your finances a little bit more. And last of this is love. You're probably thinking, okay, what's love got to do with it, right? But it could be a sacrifice. You cannot buy love. I know it's nice to have a price tag, and if you can afford a price tag, that's great, but it is not a replacement for building relationships. If you are basing it on things, or what your disposable income is, or something like that, what happens if you have not a shortfall, but what happens if you have an incident in your life where it changes your financial landscape? You have a car accident, or you have an illness or something like that that really does put a dent in your finances. But the person or things that you were looking at to buy that love that you wanted, you can no longer do that. Is that love still there? So just be careful of your purpose, of the mindset when it comes to spending money or how you utilize your finances. So managing your money is not just about numbers on a paper. It's also about how you do what you do and how it is going to make you feel, not just physically, not just mentally, but the financial shape that you're going to be in afterwards. If it's going to help you get better in the long run or help you sustain financial wealth for your future, then those are the things that I would encourage you to gear yourself towards. This is a great read. If you've never heard of Tiffany Aliche, or even if you have, she considers herself the budgetnista. She has some wonderful, several books, but one of the books that I really enjoy is this one that we featured here, which is Get Good with Money. And she has a statement in there that really spoke to me that says, financial wholeness is when all aspects of your life are working together for your greatest good, your biggest benefit, and your richest life. I always tell people being happy is not about finances, but finances helps you have a wonderful experience. I know people that, including myself, I'm not, a super mega, wealthy person as far as money is concerned, but I am so happy and content with my life. I'm rich because I have friends, I have family. I have a 16-year-old who I am her chauffeur. There are some other things that I surround myself with that brings me that euphoric happiness that doesn't cost me anything, but yet I can still have my plan of savings or have my plan for her education, and still have that in place without feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out on something. I don't have FOMO. I don't have that fear of missing out because I am surrounding myself with other things, getting involved in other things, going for those walks just to get a little exercise, or doing work outside of home where I am doing volunteering in the community, things of that nature. You can fill your life with other things to make yourself whole as a person. And finances is just a part of it. So all of those things come together to make your happiness or to make you financially whole. Other things come into play. Like I said, it's not just the psychology part of it, but it's all about your mental wellness, your physical wellness. You don't want to be stressed out. You don't want to have to put yourself in a position to where you are, worrying about everything all the time. You want to have a little peace of mind. Next, we're going to go straight into the spending habits. We talked about how we think, some of the ways that you can think about money. Now let's talk about how we spend. What choices do you have? Matter of fact, you have all the choices in the world, but the thing is knowing how to control your spending. It is not a one size fits all. It is not, prescribed. I can buy it straight from the box and this is what's going to work for me. We are all individuals with individual lives, individual stories, individual cultures. Everything is so different for all of us. So one thing is probably not going to work for everybody, but getting the tools that you need so that it works for you and your family. I always tell people, research it if you can. I'm hearing a little feedback, so if you are not on mute, if you could put yourself on mute so that everyone can listen in. Thank you. Ask yourself, do I really need it right now? When you're getting ready to make a purchase, especially a big purchase, can it wait? Do I have a plan of savings? You are your biggest investment. I always tell people, have a plan of savings. pay yourself first. When you, I don't know if you do direct deposit or if you have a piggy bank at home or whatever it is that you may have, put a little something to the side for yourself. If you don't have overdraft with your account somewhere, find a little way to put a little something aside for yourself in case of emergencies. That way, when something does happen, you know, you need new tires, the water heater breaks down, whatever it is, you're not putting yourself in a great financial strain and then putting the stress on yourself. Always have a plan of savings. And I always tell people, if you have a plan, please write it down so that you can go back, look at it, review it, change it, whatever it is that you need to do. Not just think about it and go, oh, well, yeah, about 2 years ago, I think I said I was going to, nope, write it down. That way you can go back and look at it, make it concrete, make yourself accountable to whatever it is that you say you're going to do. Writing it is your best method, whether it's on a tablet, whether you keep it in notes on your phone, whether you keep it in a notebook at home, whatever it is, write it down. What about impulses? If you've ever heard of mindless eating, say, for instance, you're binge watching a TV show and you've got chips and cookies or, you know, hot wings or whatever it is, that whatever your favorite foods are, you're sitting there and about an hour into it, all of a sudden you're looking down and you're going, oh my gosh, I ate all that. Not thinking about it. You're engaged in something else while your hand is going to your mouth. Mindless eating. The same thing can be said for mindless purchasing. You can do the same thing. Research, once again, shows that, like I said, the longer you stay in an environment, the more apt you are to do something that you probably would not do. So if you're online too long, and online is probably like the craziest place to shop, it's the most convenient, but as soon as you click on something or you're looking at something, you're starting to get pop-up ads for pretty much the same thing or similar items. So the advertisers are bombarding you with these ads to buy, to buy, to buy, to buy. They're going to just hound you with this. So no matter what you're looking at, the longer you stay online, the more you're going to think, that looks interesting. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Oh, I probably need to buy that. Just be careful. It can work the same way. Those advertisers will target you, whether you're in store or online. They play the nice music in the stores to keep you moving, keep you going through the aisles, keep you in there for a while. I am the world's worst when it comes to the store. I try to take cash because if I don't, I'll end up buying a whole lot more than I intended to buy. So debit cards are easy to swipe. So if I have cash, I know I have a hard stop. I can't go beyond whatever it is that I have in my purse. So just be mindful of those kinds of things. Spending with a purpose. Ask yourself, after you write down what it is that you want to do, how you want to start saving or your plan of saving, what is your goal? What are your financial goals? Is it to make sure that you have long-term wealth for yourself, for your family, to make sure your children or your grandchildren, nieces and nephews, whoever it is in your family, can see that they can sustain beyond today? Are you trying to purchase a home? Are you trying to pay off your home? Are you trying to purchase a car? Or are you trying to get through school? Whatever it is, whatever your purpose is, find out what your goals are for your finances. And those are the things you work towards. One of the biggest things, are you working out a plan to get out of debt? You could be paying things little by little to eliminate your debt. Find your plan, not just think it, write it down, make it real, make it concrete so that you actually can look at it and adjust it and review it and do what you need to do to make sure that you're staying on target. Every now and then you may fall off the wagon. you may, slip up, or that's okay. Get back on your plan. Uh, we all do things that we don't intentionally plan to do, or even if we do, we can always go back. There's never a it's over, it's done. You can always go back and get back on your plan. But think about the features, of the products that you're looking at. Is it going to be functional? Is it going to be long lasting? Is it going to be quality versus quantity? Go for quality. Quality may cost you a few more dollars in the onset, but it'll save you a lot more money in the long run, instead of buying an appliance that's only going to last you 2 to 3 years because it was on sale, versus buying the one that was a couple of dollars more, that's going to last you the next 10 years. So think about things of that nature. Like I said, whether or not your children are included in that plan of savings, so that they can now start on their journey for financial wealth. This is another great read, The Millionaire Next Door by Stanley, excuse me, by Thomas Stanley and William Danko. Lots of wonderful information. I love sharing tools. So any financial tools that are going to work for you, please utilize them. Do not think that one size fits all. Use what you think will be of need for you and be useful. They have two terms in this book that really, like I said, when I'm reading, I like to extract little nuggets. But they had two terms, the UAW and the PAW. And the UAW is the underaccumulator of wealth. You see the example, the description there, but it's basically living beyond your means. The consumption of income rather than the method of saving income. If you're busy buying or spending and not saving, you're not going to have a lot of wealth. You may have some, but you're not going to have as much as you could have in the long run. A PAW, which is a prodigious accumulator of wealth, those are the folks that are living below their means. So they have greater access to saving their money to accumulate their wealth. So not every, and if you get this book, you'll find out, not all wealthy people like to drive the name brand everything. They're not into the Mercedes and into, whatever the most expensive cars are. They may be your next door neighbor driving a Toyota or driving a Hyundai. They know how to live within and below their means in order to amass their wealth and have it for the generations beyond. So great reads, feel free. If you've written it down, great. I can make sure that you have these titles. If you want to take a look at those two books that I mentioned by Tiffany Aliche and Stanley and Danko, like I said, great reads, and I love giving that information. I'm going to wrap it up with our food for thought. We all deal with things. Life happens to everyone. So acknowledge any financial struggles that you have, because that's going to be your launching pad for growth. And don't be afraid to celebrate your successes. If you pay off your credit card, celebrate. Now, don't go out and spend, and jack up your limit again. Don't do that. But you can do something to celebrate. It could be, treat yourself to ice cream, or it could be, have your own little dance party at home, or whatever it is. Celebrate when things happen that is going to be good for you. But acknowledging your financial struggles is going to help you to grow, help you see those areas where you need to make some adjustments. Acknowledge your self-worth. As I mentioned earlier, don't compare yourself or be in competition with an image. Just because, the people down the street, they got a nice Tesla, that doesn't mean that you have to struggle to get a Tesla. Drive what you have. If you have a Chevrolet, drive it. pay that thing off. You're going to be just as wealthy, if not more, than the person that you think has the Tesla down the street. It's not about what you see, it's about what's going on with you and your financial situation. So acknowledge your self-worth, acknowledge that you don't have to look like or do those things that other people are doing in order to feel like you have your self-worth or to feel wealthy. You can be wealthy without buying anything extravagant. Or if that's your lifestyle, have at it, do it. Invite me to your house, whatever works. we would love for you to have that that wonderful self-worth. Learn from your past experiences. So if you saw something didn't work 2 years ago, be careful about repeating that. If you found out that if I changed, the way I did this so that, I can, get the same item or the same type of item if I shop around and get hundreds of dollars less. Learn from those experiences. Shopping, compare shopping is a great tool. Do that. If you decide, okay, if I put $25, $40, $50 in an account every week or every pay period, that you're going to end up adjusting your financial situation on how you pay your bills and everything without that $50. And soon you're not going to miss it. And that money is going to grow. It's going to sit there and it's going to be available for you in case of emergencies or just to help pay yourself first to get you started on something else. You could take that lump sum of money, pay for a vacation. You could take that lump sum of money, pay off some bills. You could do whatever you want, but it's great to put money to the side. Recognize those advertising tactics. Remember I said, especially once you look online for something, you start getting these pop-up ads for similar items. You'll see, people also look at, and they'll show you a slew of things to keep you on those sites, because they figure as long as you're on the site, you're not going to want to get off the site without purchasing something. So they're going to want to keep you there so that you can spend money. When we talk about self-worth, I want you to envision yourself at whatever goals you set for yourself. It could be, I'm going to get my second house and it's going to be in the Bahamas. Envision that, see yourself there. Give yourself those goals and then see yourself doing whatever it is. It could be, I'm going to make sure that I pay off all of my student debt. It could be, I'm going back to school. Envision yourself, see yourself there. And that'll give you a little motivation to keep on the right track. And last, seek advice from financial experts. If you're looking to invest, or if you're looking to do any kind of financial product like an IRA or CDs or things of that nature, go to the people that know about those things. Go to those financial experts, go to those financial institutions that can give you some advice. Or if you have a CPA that you deal with, talk to them, or any other financial advisor. Go to the people that are the experts in their field. I always tell folks, don't get your advice from someone still living in the basement and still complaining that they don't have, a car. Okay, that might not be the person that you want to get your financial advice from. So go to the experts, get your information from the people who know, so that they can give you the tools that will work best for your financial life. Kelsey, do we have any questions in the chat?
Let me double check and see. I do not see any. Does anyone have any at this time? And if you don't think of it right now, I know sometimes they come to me like well after the fact, and you can definitely send me those through email or ask me at work, and I can get those to Michelle for an answer.
Yes. It's a lot of information, but anytime when it comes to finances, it's going to be a lot of information because, like, as I mentioned before, you're an individual. So what works for me may not work for you, or what you've done in the past may have been great for you, and it's maybe something I can't use. So we learn from each other. So if there is something that we can do to assist you, especially at the credit union, please feel free to reach out. We are here and available for you. I'm gonna scoot here. Um, Here's my information. If you want to contact me directly, feel free to do that. But I definitely want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time today to allow me to come back. I am so excited. I missed you. It's been 2 years. I can't believe it's been 2 years. So I am just ready and willing to be there and be available for all of my folks at Century. Just let us know how we can be of help.